What's going on is your man Cleveland Terry, and today we're going to talk about the newly released Rane One MK2 from the good folks at Rane DJ. Is it worth the wait? Let's talk about it. All right, y'all, if you're new here, this is what we do. We talk about all things DJ related, whether that be DJ gear reviews, DJ gig logs, DJ tips and tricks, and then my weekly live podcast where we take questions and I try to help you guys out every single Thursday. If that sounds like something you want to do, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button so you can be notified of all the times I post or when I'm online. Okay, having said that, let's talk about this. This is actually going to be a relatively quick video because, as you all know, it's the same box. Okay, so the MK1 and the MK2 have the exact same features minus one. You still have your XLR outputs, you still have your booth XLR outputs, which I know for some of you it's a little annoying that you have the XLR outputs versus the 1/4 inch. I talked to Mojax, he was like, I prefer that because I'm in the club all the time and just going 1/4 inch just works. But if you're a mobile guy and you're sending out a feed, it's just easier to not have to think about, oh, did I remember to put in my 1/4 inch to XLR combo? You have it right there. If a videographer comes up to you and they're like, hey, where can I get a feed? Yes, you can send them to your speakers, but what if your speakers don't have that option? Well, they always have XLR. They don't always have RCA. They don't always have 1/4 inch. So it's easy to just send them right there. Everybody wins. Besides that, we have our external sampler knob. Before it was you had to kind of jerry rig it and it was a double to affect the volume. Now you have a dedicated sampler volume. So you guys are welcome. I know you people that use it are happy about that. All right, let's go on to the other features. Again, the box, same dimensions, okay? Same complete dimensions. Nothing has changed about that, which means that any bags, any furniture, anything that you're using that has had this in there, you don't have to change anything. It's going to fit perfectly. Still has the great feet so you can slide things under. It's got everything you need. It's exactly the same as the Rane One MK1, excuse me, faux pas. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about what has changed, what they've added. Nothing removed, just, well, one thing removed. We'll talk about that. Let's go over to the screen and let's take a look at what we're dealing with here. Okay, so this is the device, and as you can see here, there's a lot of things, a lot of lights, a lot of buttons. It's a very pretty controller. The first thing I will say to the people that hate the white, I'm sorry, this is the only color that it's coming out with to start. Maybe one day they'll have a black version, just like sometimes they have a white version. But this is the first time that they've come out with a white controller, and I'm not mad at it. I know you guys are like, I can't stand it. I'm going to go ahead and I'll wait until they come out with the black version. Or you can do what all us other people do when we want white controllers. We skin it. So just skin it. It doesn't cost that much, and you can get it custom exactly how you want it. But that is the thing. It's only white. There's no black. Okay. As far as before we get into the tops, I do want to mention just one minor thing that I happen to think is fantastic. We know that this is a Serato device, okay? And we know that typically speaking, they have to map it out for DJ, they have to map it out for virtual DJ, and so on. Well, you will be happy to know that this works with DJ right out of the box. And matter of fact, I have it plugged in right now, well, at least a couple hours ago, and it was working just fine. That includes the iPad, iPhone, iOS, or on the Mac. So for you DJ people, we don't have to wait. Yay us. Aren't you happy? I know I'm happy. I really am happy. Okay. Besides that, the price. Should I wait to tell you the price? Because you're going to like cut out on the video if I tell you now. I'm going to tell you now. The original price of the Rane One MK1 when it was released was $14.99. The price of this device is unfortunately $14.99. That's right. It's the same price. Thank the gods, thank whomever. I'm so happy that they were able to do this, especially with the tariffs and everything else that's going on. That's an amazing, amazing price for something as good as this. Now, I will tell you this, you know, sometimes, and this is not factual. This is just something I've noticed in general, that when things do start to sell really, really well, sometimes the price creeps up a little bit, especially with the tariffs. You don't really know what's going to happen. That price could change at any point. So if you see it for $14.99 and it's something you are really interested in, do not wait. Buy it immediately, because 2 months from now, it might be $16.99. I'm just telling you facts. That's how the world works. Okay. Now, as far as the added on things, we're going to talk about really two things. Okay. And it's really based upon the effects. Okay. The effects across the board and some enhancements to the device. Okay. The first enhancements are we've upgraded our line faders. So on here, these line faders are now the same faders as the Performer. They're nice and stiff. There's like no movement whatsoever. And the same thing applies to the Mag 4. Now, it's technically the same Mag 4, but you can feel it. There's a difference in the feel of this thing. It's definitely more rigid, but the flow and the smoothness is great. If you want to customize them, you can just pop these guys off and you can customize both the up faders and the cross fader. Tension adjust is inside, but your contour, your crossfader contour is on the outside of the knob, along with, as I said before, your sample volume. The turntables feel great. Now, there is one thing that I will say. So when I first started using them, they felt really, really like tight, like almost hard to pull back. So when I was doing some like release scratches, right? Or I was trying to beat juggle and I was trying to bring the record back, I would find myself getting caught like here, like it wasn't doing a full revolution without stopping. Well, they have a fix for this. So if you go into the jogs and you obviously remove the piece here, you know, you got your standard Rane pads here. Okay. Now by default, they come like this without this little ring here. Okay. So let's put this in real quick. There we go. Okay. Now, once it's in, check this out. Okay. Now let's put this little ring in. Just one. It comes with multiples. They're all exactly the same size, but it's just a slightly, you're just raising the density by adding more rings. All right. And we'll do the same thing. Same thing. Now, of course, I could add another ring and it'll make it even smoother. And it's essentially just like getting new slip mats, but without having to get new slip mats. Now, of course, I put in my other slip mats, I think the ones from Serato, and they were already, it was already smoother right off the bat. But if you're using the defaults in the box, they do have these little rings, which are found in this bag right here. Moving up top here, this is probably something that's slightly annoying to some people. Now, if you remember on the MK1, this was a track scrub, and they've decided that the scrub effect wasn't really that important. So they've done, which I think is the better idea, and that's replace it with a pad mode, which is a multi-function pad mode. Now, in the pad modes here, if you just hold down mode, you can jump around to different pads. Okay. So in these pad modes, you have hot cue, scratch bank, sampler, stems on the bottom. You have beat jump, stem roll, stem effects, and your auto loop right there. These functions also apply, below. Okay. And for that, we'll show you on this side, but, just by holding down the button, it's going to take you to your pad modes. If you want to get to the secondary pad modes, it's just a double click. And now you're in, that's a beat jump pad mode. To know you're in it, it always blinks if you're in that pad mode just by holding down mode. As far as the other pad modes are concerned, we're going to take you over here so it's easier to see. In the pad modes here, you have hot cue, save loop, loop roll, just roll, sampler, stems, and then on the double press, you have your pitch. Double click on here, and then you have your saved loops, and then because it's Serato, you got your beat jumps, which you can turn off now. On the double on the roll, you have new stem effects, which we will talk about. And then on the double on your sampler, you have your scratch bank, and double on your stems. And then you have, again, an additional stem. Also on the side, just like on the Performer, you do have your acapella and your instrumental kind of hotkeys right here. So you can just go right into like so. Easy, 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 easy. Basically, there's parity among the controllers. So the Rane Performer has all the buttons, okay? But it's also a bigger device and it's a heavier device and it's got 4 channels versus the 2 channel. This is a trade-off. You have to decide. So when you've moved over to a 2-track device, well, you lose some things, but they're not gone. They're just a couple of clicks here and there. So for instance, on your filter knob here, when you turn it on, that's flanger. And it's flanger because I've already been messing with this. So when you hold down shift and the button, flanger, filter, filter roll, noise, flanger. Okay, so just the same ones that are found on the Performer. And this button, when it's on, it blinks. When it's off, it's not. But if you want to turn it off so you don't mess with it when you're messing with, you know, you don't want to do all that, right? So you have the button that can be off. All right, you guys know what the effects sound like. I don't have to show you that. Okay, but as far as, since we're right here anyway, as we said, this is a controller with standalone effects. So you actually have effects in here, and there's actually 29 effects. If you've used the Performer, you know exactly what I'm talking about here. The effects are really good. But if you really want to know what's in the effects, just hold down any one of these buttons and turn the knob, and it'll take you. Now, let's move over back to my Echo. Okay, back to my Echo. Now, here's one thing that's really cool, especially if you're one of these people that likes to set it and forget it, right? Like you've customized everything. You got your effects to be exactly how you want them. I want my Echo to be, you know, a 1-beat Echo, but I want my Echo out to maybe be a half-beat Echo, okay? Well, in here now, once you set your parameters, okay, let's say I have it at half, I can affect the cut in, the high pass filter cut in. Then if I hold this button, it saves exactly how I want it. Now, if I turn off the device, if I turn off the computer, when I turn it back on again, the same settings are going to remain because it has the non-volatile memory. So it'll always be there. I'm very happy about that. That's just one less thing that I have to think about. Let's talk about the microphone. All right, on the microphone, why do you want to talk about a microphone? It's just a microphone. Well, it's a little different this time because now you do have microphone effects, okay? And they are BPM driven. So I should probably turn my slip back on again. Okay, so if I activate this, 2, 2, 2, 2, let's go. And then you can change your echo to reverb. Now you have reverb. The last thing to talk about is stem, because stem and sim effects, they spent a great deal of time on this device. Now, if you've used a Performer, you're going to find it's close to being the same thing, but never had it on the Rane One MK1. Didn't have any effects before. So as a matter of fact, it'll be interesting to see how people take to this, because I know one of the things that the Rane One people would swear by, because I always said it's a great device, but it feels like it's missing. I wish it had internal effects. I wish it had this. And a lot of people were like, no, man, it's just basics, back to basics. It allows you to focus and just create good music mixes. And I'm like, okay, I mean, I don't know if that's a justification, but it kind of sounds like it. But if you like it, you like it. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with this device. I will tell you this, after been using this for the last few weeks, and I have taken it out. I know it says don't use, Serato, but I have taken it out on a couple of events. And the one thing I will say is I actually prefer maybe the wrong word, but I found myself really enjoying turntables with no displays in them, no crate visuals, no logo, just the line right here. Like I found that alone, just having that line and just being able to focus, I was scratching better. You know, I was just more into just the music and less into just all the bells and whistles. Okay, yeah, maybe I was having just a moment at that point in time, but that's what I'm just telling you. There are five different ways to control your stems. We've always had our basic ways of utilizing stems, which was in the pad modes. And on the Rane MK1, that's really your only option in the pad mode. So when you're in here, you click on stems, you have your standard pads, vocal, melody, bass line, and drums. All right. And you can just remove them out just like so. But you were stuck only being able to have access to these pad modes. And then you have your stem effects here. Like so. Now, if you noticed up here, when I took out the volume, it took them out up here too, because I am in the stems mode on the top here. So I can bring it back here. Now, I like this because I like to have my cue points remain where they are. All right, so this is one way to do stems. This is a second way to do stems. Third way to do stems is your dedicated buttons right here. You can still use your stem effects, just holding down shift. Now, you can change those so where you don't have to hold the shift button in the settings. You can just have it just like we do with the silent cue, because our silent cue is right here. It defaults to sensor, but you can go right into your settings here just by holding down shift and menu, takes you to silent cue, and then you can go swap sensor for the silent cue. Back to pad modes here. So we have 1, 2, 3. All right, what other pad modes do we have? Well, let's show you. So if you were to go into the knobs here, you have access using your stem levels just by holding shift, pressing the button down. There we go. Now, the difference is 3 knobs. So this is melody and bass, that's vocals, and then that is drums. All right, so that's the fourth. And then the last way is with the stem effects. Okay, so under your stems, you have the standard stems right here. Okay, but if we were to double click, now you have access to Rane's version of stem effects. All right, so let's go just to the beat. Now here's the thing. All of these buttons are how the system knows where to apply the effects. Okay, so right now they're all highlighted, so that means it's only going to apply to the highlighted ones. I'm transforming now these cars and planes, I'm always boarding. Just out touring down in Charlotte like I play for. All right, let's go here. Only bass line and melody. All right, we're gonna take these off just for vocals. And it's latched on, and you can change the parameters by just changing that. See the difference? And then on your rolls, again, you have access to your roll effects. So this is the selection, and these are the rolls. All right. All right, right now it's all of them. Okay, but if we just want All right, we're gonna let the beat come in.
When I'm performing, never boring. Now you can't afford it. Champagne Perrier, finish frames on my face. Looking like I'm from the deep. These no Cartiers. Pockets deep, deep, deep. Bro. I press the button and the doors go up like, whoa. That money clip us not and who not looks like, whoa. Upgrade her diamonds, now her girlfriends are like, whoa. Neighborhood.
And then also on here, on your pad modes, which I'll show you on this side, just so it's easier to see. But you still have access to those same effects up here, the stem effects. The only difference is that if you're using your stem effects, it's just the bottom. So on your stem effects here, you're only getting this part. Okay. So what that means is if anything is highlight, it's going to affect all of them. But like I said, you don't necessarily know what's active, but I guess you can set it and forget it if you want to apply just for that. And then do your effects. So, again, all cool things, The fact that it works with DJ right out of the box, the fact that it works with Serato as it's supposed to, but it's still great. The fact that I have all of my standalone effects, which is what I want. The fact that I have a effect on the microphone, which is what has been asked for. The fact that I have a sample volume, which has been asked for. It checks off all the boxes. And I'm going to say this is a fantastic update. Like it is like, I have nothing to say about this. It is a great controller. And even though, you get in here, you see there's been many different controllers that have come out and different options and the platters and all that stuff. The T7 came out. This is a fantastic device. And I would actually recommend this to most people when they're out like, hey, what should I get? For anybody that's looking at the Performer but doesn't like the size of the Performer or the weight of the Performer, this now is an actual option that you could look at. Okay. Price point wise, it's a great price point. I got nothing bad to say. It's fantastic. It is. But you guys let me know in the comments what you think about it. Did you like it? Do you find it a great device? Put it in the comments below. Let me know what you're thinking. If you have any questions, please ask away in the comments and we will get to them. But besides that, y'all, I have nothing bad to say about it. I got nothing bad to say. It's a great controller. All right, guys, if you found what I said here useful, hit that like button. If you found what I said here really useful, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you follow me on Instagrams and Twitters. Get on my Discord because that's where we're talking about all things Cleveland Terry. Guys, girls, always a pleasure. If I don't talk to you later, we'll talk soon. Peace.